This one. I suppose that without much further ado, we can start and hope that if people do come on in the middle, then we can just, yes. I mean, as people come, we can just explain a bit later. So yes, should I begin?
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
Good. Just a bit of branding. Let's do. You see my screen?
Yeah, absolutely. That looks clear. Nice.
Yes. So yes, currently a lot of people are under the impression that cryptocurrencies are generally, like on the technology side of things, all right. And the main focus should be around making sure that you don't fall for scams, falling for rug pulls, etc. But in the upcoming years, actually, it's gonna be, well, not only in the upcoming years, but already, according to some recent occurrences, the technology side of things is becoming also riskier. So sometimes it's not just about how what you invest, who you listen to, but also what you invest in. Like for example, with the incoming of quantum computers, who are able to break blockchain infrastructures, cryptocurrencies who are not prepared will actually be stealable, so to say, to speak. So that basically, if a crypto is not prepared and a quantum computer appears, someone would be able to just take your coin and say, "Okay, it's mine now," and that kind of beats the entire purpose of blockchain. So it's quite important that blockchains are prepared as soon as possible. Actually, there have been other incidents. Like for example, I'm not sure if how many of you heard, but Solana has actually been infected at some point, at least the NPM package, meaning that a lot of cryptocurrencies that were based on Solana became outright a virus that spied on the entirety of the computers that they were in, which is pretty bad because Solana is a pretty big coin. So that's something to consider. Just in general, cryptocurrency hacks are on the rise. As you can see, like from 2015 compared to after the 2020s, while crypto has spiked, hacks has also spiked, went from the millions to the billions, meaning that there is a lot of money in that area, which means there's a lot of money to steal, which means it's even more important to keep track on what you are on the crypto that you're investing in. Because this is just going back a bit, this is talking about hacks, not necessarily phishing or rug pulls or stealing. It's outright the coins got hacked. There was nothing that the people who bought the coin could do about it. So basically, you know, the know your customer KYC, there is a know your crypto. I'm not the one who came up with that. There's a picture about it specifically, sadly. You need to make sure that before you invest, check the security of the blockchain, check what algorithms it uses. If it uses elliptic curve or RSA, it is not quantum secure. So make sure that it is future secure. Make sure that you check like how transparent the crypto is, like do they have any future plans to increase their security? Do they have any clear goals? It's also better generally to use like cold hardware wallets and practice some basic cybersecurity, just like for everything else, multi-factor, software and upgrade and firmware updates. And as mentioned, check if the asset is actually planning any sort of how do they keep future proof, because a lot of cryptos are pretty short-sighted. They don't think of how to stay in the longer term. Make sure that yours does. There have also been some Australian laws passing around cryptos, making sure that I'm not sure what they're making sure, but they at least passing laws, and you need to make sure that you're aware of those laws, especially some of the more ambiguous laws, like for example, not engage in misleading or deceptive conduct. That can be a pretty ambiguous term. Like what if you said something and turned out not to be true, but you thought it was true at the time? that might end up being bad. So make sure what you're saying is informed and to the best of your abilities, not deceptive, I assume. Just going a bit deeper, quantum computers are going to be able to break cryptocurrencies, meaning that if you invest in a coin, someone else can just say, it's mine now, meaning that your money belongs to them, because they can take your signature and fake it. Now, you might think, well, until 2030, I shouldn't worry. The truth is that you should, because hackers can already take those signatures and wait for 2030 and then start faking them. So you will need to basically, in order to prevent that happening, you need to create a fork and basically undo the signatures you did previously, and it's kind of a mess. It's much better off not to just not procrastinate. So yeah, I'm not gonna delay too much. Just stay informed about crypto. Make sure that you read up news. Like, not many people heard of the Solana malware, but it was pretty bad because it allowed people not only steal the cryptocurrencies, but also spy on the entirety of the computer, every activity. So make sure that you read up on that, keep track on everything. And just in general, expand awareness, spread awareness, tell people about it. Make sure that people hear the words, that it is extremely important to know how to gain money from crypto, but it's equally important to make sure that you don't lose your money on crypto, at least not for the wrong reasons. Not from a calculated risk, but from a hack, so that someone took your hard-earned money. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So gonna go quickly, just begin the conversation, and just stay safe. Like, not just from the person side of things, but also from the technology side of things.
Nice. That was really, really succinct and to the point. So we keep everyone's attention. So this is why we like working with ExeQuantum, because we weren't aware of this ourselves, and it's not something to be scared of and then run away from crypto the other direction. It's just, okay, this is interesting stuff. Is the crypto I'm investing in, is it going to be here long term? Am I storing my crypto in a safe space? And just like Samuel was saying, there's various types of ways to check whether it is going to be quantum secure or not. I forget what that was. Can you say it again? There was 2 different types
of algorithms.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. So basically, if you dig into your crypto and scrutinize it, and check if it happens to use RSA or elliptic curve or something similar. Maybe, or even like, if you don't want to try to remember those names, just see what algorithm they use. Look up, is this algorithm quantum secure? And it will let you know. Google or ChatGPT will let you know.
Can you put that link in the chat so people know how to check these things?
So one thing you can potentially do, there is actually a website, a pretty nifty website. It doesn't check on crypto per se. It is. There we go. It doesn't check on oh, did I send it to the wrong? I sent it to the wrong one. Everyone in meeting, not everyone in the meeting room.
That's all right. We're seeing it.
There we go.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So you can actually use this link to check if a website is quantum secure or not. It checks the algorithm that is used under the TLS. Well, not the Lazy Society, but Transport Layer Security. The SSL certificate. I can actually show you right now if you want.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, this is, it doesn't have to be difficult and you don't have to remember the names, but we could even write an article on our blog about this.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can look up the ExeQuantum on LinkedIn. They're always posting cool stuff. There you go.
So basically, that lets you know if the link that you just copy the link and paste it here, and then it checks and lets you know if it is quantum secure or not. Now this one is taking a bit of a while. There we go. As you can see, it is not post-quantum ready, meaning that this website has not implemented post-quantum security.
Okay.
Now, if, for example, you check our website, of course, I'm gonna
I wanted to say, show the alternative, which one is quantum secured.
Then you can see it is post-quantum ready. So you can just check on your website or the crypto website you're using. Maybe that's a bit easier than looking it up. Because if they use go ahead.
So for example, like a QRL, it's a quantum coin. If I want to check if it's cyber secure, it's a quantum secure. Can I do that?
So they actually are quantum secure. So they are saying themselves they're using XMSS, which is a quantum secure algorithm. So you see, people who are quantum secure will let you know that most likely. So I would recommend, apparently it also went up quite a bit in value, according to Karina.
Yes, I've got some profit just before a new year on this coin. It was up, I think it was 218% in one night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be Trump though. It can't be Trump still.
No, it can't be Trump.
Or Melanie, yeah.
Well, I think Trump is a bit less worried about the upcoming years. It just the money that they make now, which is, I mean, if that's what you're looking for, that's fine. If you're looking to make money, like try to make a quick buck, then that's probably not something to worry about. But assuming that everyone here is trying to be a long-term investor, it's something more to consider.
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. So what I'm concerned about in the crypto space is a lot of people park their funds in staking websites, and including myself. And we want to make sure that those sites are, they have good cybersecurity. So yeah, thanks for this tool. I'll definitely do my research now before I park any big funds in these crypto tools or these protocols. It's good to know.
If you see that they're not saying they're quantum secure, it doesn't necessarily mean that the crypto itself is not quantum secure, but it might be a good indication on how much they're taking their security seriously.
Yeah.
And then of course you can look up what is it based on. I know that at the moment Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum are sadly not quantum secure. So that's something to consider. Hopefully they will upgrade in the upcoming years, but that's something to consider. As a lot of other coins, I think, are implementing it at the moment, from my understanding. So it's getting there, but it's not enough. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I think
so the biggest issue, the biggest issue in the space is they only react when something big happens. And before the people take this stuff like, oh yeah, why do we have to invest? It's like I run my scam alerts channel, and a lot of people come to me after scams already happen, and they say, I've lost my funds, but they didn't find my video before. So, in that case, I say I can't help you because it's crypto and it's the wild, wild west. So hopefully people will start getting the message before something big happens in the space.
I think I heard a pretty good analogy about this whole thing. It's think about it like, if you hear that a storm is coming, are you going to build a shelter? Are you going to wait for the storm to come to build a shelter? Or are you going to start building the shelter before the storm comes? So that's pretty much it. We are trying to build a shelter. Don't wait for the storm. It's, once the storm happens, you can't say, okay, I guess I'll start building the shelter. You got to do it before.
Yeah. Rush says the same thing. You got to, you don't want to be left at the train station and you haven't packed your bag. You're still there on the floor. Everything's open. You want to be there standing ready. Train comes, doors open, you're on, doors close, goes, you're ready. Bags packed. So yeah, I like those analogies.
Yeah.
I guess a similar one would be you don't wear a seatbelt once a collision happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so true.
That's actually also another. Now I'm gonna write it down.
Very good. We shouldn't laugh about that stuff, but you know, we're talking about being prepared. So yeah,
Yes.
about
So a bit of a like a bit of a summary for the people who came in. I think around 4 people. Basically, what we talked about is keeping on top of your cybersecurity for crypto, not just on the human side of things. A lot of people would say, be careful of rug pulls, be careful of phishing, social engineering. However, the technology side of things is also becoming more and more at risk. Quantum computers are going to be able to break blockchain, meaning that people will be able to just steal your coins if you invest in the wrong coins, especially in the upcoming years. Additionally, sometimes, like in what happened to Solana recently, malware can actually infiltrate the coin and start hacking the computers that use that coin, meaning that it's very important to make sure your coin takes its security seriously. So we just saying, know your crypto, look up what algorithm the coin that you want to invest in uses, and then check if it is quantum secure. Also check if there have been any recent incidents regarding that crypto coin, like any hacks that are not related to improper or misuse. So like, for example, a virus or hacking into the technology, something that that the people who bought the coin couldn't control.
Can you and Roche possibly explain the difference between hacking, which is your part of the thing, and Roche explain a bit about scams? What is the difference between those two?
Sure. Rush, do you wanna first explain the scam and I'll explain the technology or the hacking, or vice versa?
Yeah, sure. I can go into the scams. So in a crypto scams, there's so many of them. One of the most popular ones is just, if you have a project, they have a link, an official link in Twitter. They'll make a similar account with the same profile picture, and they might just make a slight adjustment to the username. That is not picked up very quickly. They'll buy users in Twitter or in YouTube somewhere, and they'll post links which are phishing links. So if you click on those links, what will happen is you'll sign a transaction through your wallet. And once you sign the transaction, they'll take your keyword phrase, and in crypto, they take your 12 words, 24 words. You can't take it back. You can't change those words. And your crypto is compromised. So that impacts your current crypto, and it could also impact your future crypto as well. Because if you do transactions now, you could be eligible for airdrops later. That's all gone. And actually, what the scammers can do is that they can put bots to block any future crypto that you put in there and you try and take out. They'll put bots in there as well. So it's very sophisticated, and you have to be really careful. So that's just an example, but there are so many other scams in the space. And check out our YouTube. We've got some samples in there.
lots in there. Roche has put a lot of samples in there on how to avoid it, how to notice it, and how to avoid it, which is very different to what Samuel's going to explain.
Yes. So as Roche spectacularly explained, it's about people essentially fooling you in sophisticated ways to do something that ends up harming you and benefiting them. With the technology side of things, it's a bit different. Instead of targeting you, they target the people who supply you. So if, for example, you are the most careful person in the world, and you invest in a coin, and then someone breaks into the code and starts spying on anyone who uses that coin, including yourself, it doesn't matter how careful you are, you're going to get screwed. It's not your fault, technically, but it ended up harming you anyways. So I guess the one thing both have in common, both getting hacked and getting social engineered, is you end up getting screwed. So Sadly, it is also up to us to try to not get hacked, even though it's also up to the provider not to get hacked. And therefore, it's important to make sure that your provider is a trusted individual and company, either through certifications or the algorithm they have, or like other type of referral. Sadly, the average crypto investor saying that they're secure is not necessarily like Rosh mentioned, it could be a bot trying to fool you into thinking that. So
Samuel, it's George here. Just a quick question. This is a great session. I'm getting a lot out of this and learning a lot. Can you just maybe just talk us through what's happened with Solana? I must have missed something, but you raised an interesting point with what happened with Solana. I've never heard this happen before. Can you shed some light, please?
Yeah, sure. So let me just maybe bring up the I'll actually bring up the slide again. Because it's the first slide. Let me just share my screen. So actually what happened with Solana somewhat recently, they had a malware in one of their libraries. So it didn't affect the entirety of the user base, but anyone who used their JavaScript library, turned out that they actually were able to, like there was a virus in there that was able to steal private keys and therefore steal crypto coins. It also actually turned out to be a complete spyware that was able to spy on the user's every move. So that's pretty bad.
Definitely not good.
No.
Has that been subsequently like plugged? Is that fixed now?
I believe it has been fixed, yeah.
Okay.
But that's
cool,
something
cool.
to consider. I mean, I think I heard from Karina that Solana, there have been a lot of Solana coins who have been kind of problematic.
Yes, in Solana, you can see every day there is a coins which actually just appear from nowhere. They have nothing behind them, and it's very important to read the white papers. Otherwise, you can see these coins. They just, let's say, they put the money on it. Yeah, you start trading with it. They taking all your money, and you can't do anything with it. And apparently, whole last year that's been happening non-stop, and there is some apps where you can track Solana coins. For example, the DEX screener on there, you can find there as well. So many of them, so many. You can see there is a 2000% up in one night, and you're just like, whoa, that's supposed to be nice. But apparently last year, as much as I know, only 126 coins was really made, and it was supported with real cash and money and everything, but the rest of them was just a fake bubbles.
Yeah, that's a bit of a worry with Solana because that's another type of scam actually. Because you know, if a coin is being owned 85% by a few individuals, that's not crypto. Crypto is meant to be decentralized, so that's a big red flag. And like Karina said, DEX Screener is a great tool to analyze the coins, and you can see who owns the coin. Is it mostly the community, or is it owned by the founders? And if it's owned by the founders, then there's a red flag there, because they can dump on it anytime and people will lose their money. So I look at it like another type of crypto scam. So if you know what you're
One
doing,
write it in the Sorry.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you treat it as a very small part of your portfolio, but you don't want to hold it long term. And you got to know what you're doing with meme coins. Might
Yeah,
as
the
well go
one
to if you want to do it.
Sorry, the one just write it in the chat about a Trump coin, and it's based on Solana. By the way, I've not looked deeply on a Trump coin, but yes, that somebody actually believe that's a coin really supported with something except just the community.
I mean, didn't Trump get like a $60 billion out of that one or something like that? He got a very high amount of money from it. I don't think it was, I'm not sure if it was 60 billion or not, so don't quote me on that.
A lot.
But in either case, a lot.
Yeah.
So he clearly owned a significant portion of it.
Yeah, and if he uses that money to go and buy Greenland, crypto is going to go down like crazy. Because, you know, I think that's not what crypto should be.
No.
It should not be
It was
used to.
designed to be decentralized. So, and I can see the future in crypto becoming even more secure. Like, you know, crypto projects, legitimate projects who believe in decentralization and having a good vision to have quantum security protection, because computers are getting smarter every day, right? So, you know, you want to protect the projects from threats.
Yes.
So
And
it's a great discussion to have now and prepare for it, like you said. So
there have been also actually a new type of crypto, I think, coming up, more like algorithms, called privacy preserving blockchain, which I think that it lets you keep your privacy, as the word suggests, meaning it doesn't tell everyone what you have been buying with your coins. I think that's also going to be an important step. I think privacy is a very important part of decentralization. Because if everything is visible, if you have no privacy, that's part of basically being controlled, surveillance. So it's good development, I'm saying.
Very nice.
yeah,
Good
thanks,
question.
Samuel. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm actually checking it out now.
Privacy
That's
preserving.
good to know. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, if I'm gonna actually send the blog post to people.
I don't think he was talking about Monero. Monero is a privacy coin. That's a different one.
Yeah,
So
I think
it's not.
Monero. Yeah, Monero was designed to send crypto securely without them being tracked.
Yes.
Because the blockchain is transparent, and Monero hides that transparency, right? But it doesn't mean that they're quantum secure. I don't think. Maybe they're
Not
still.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's still I think it's good because it's a difference, and some people really like those privacy coins because they want that extra security. So it's not. I think it's good. You know, you've got people, different demographic. They like the super privacy coins. They like Monero, and I had a couple of people pay me to come over to their house and help them move their pirate coin because they had it stuck on another exchange which they'd heard on the grapevine, which was going to close down. So real like this is today is all about security. You know, FTX went down the toilet. You want to make sure you're storing your crypto, especially large amounts, away from those centralized exchanges and in your hardware or cold wallets. Yeah, they're going to be the most secure. And yeah, make sure you're investing in something that is quantum secure if you're looking at holding it long term. So very important things here to consider.
Yes, and one thing to consider is that if you have already used a coin that is not quantum secure, it's not the end. You can actually do a hard fork that actually undoes all the former signatures, so that if they got harvested, they're no longer going to be usable. So that's something you can do right now.
So how would you do that, Samuel? Is there like a tool that helps you do that? Or do you have to know technical like skills to do that hard fork?
I think a hard fork is something the provider can do. So I guess the main thing I would suggest is tell your provider to do it. Like that's a thing. They need to know that people are aware of this and they care about it. So they'll have to as well. A lot of people know about this, but they don't really care. We need to basically put their money at risk, because then they will care.
Yeah, because when they talk about crypto, it's all about just money. And general people coming in, just normal people, all they care about is just making money. And I think that people who are deep dived into crypto and they're looking at projects do care. So I think it's about getting to the devs and really just harping on about how important it is to protect their projects. You know,
Yes.
so yeah. Oh, we've got some questions from Dave as well.
Yeah, I think it's more likely addressed to Samuel.
I think Samuel already answered that kind of in a way with the hard fork.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, regarding of like an example, what can you do to implement? Yeah, so basically you sadly cannot do much unless you are a provider, then you can implement it to your own. Otherwise, you can just tell your provider to implement it or switch to a quantum secure product. Nuance have given some examples. Another example is the QRL coin. There are a bunch who are already on it and or at least working on it. So there are thankfully options. Sadly, Bitcoin and Ethereum are not doing it yet. Actually, I think Ethereum recently changed to elliptic curve. So they used to have RSA, which is quantum vulnerable, and they switched to elliptic curve, which is even more quantum vulnerable. So I'm not sure exactly what's their plan regarding that. But in either case, maybe then it's for the best, because I basically coins like those will just get destroyed and everyone else, hopefully without too many people losing their life savings. Or just ideally they do it. Ideally they switch. But in either case, eventually something will happen. And all the coins that are quantum secure will be the only one who remains.
I think it's a time for Anthony to start a mindset about crypto cybersecurity and everything, to not scare people around so much, because currently it sounds quite terrifying. So I think it's Anthony's time to start talking
Go
as
ahead,
well.
yeah. Sorry about that. I think
No. This is what it's all about. You know, when everyone gets into their questions, it's good because we sometimes wait a long time for the people to get more confidence. But I think because everyone has met Karina in person, not everyone, but a lot of you have met Karina in person, you're feeling a bit more confident to ask questions. So that's good. But that is what your mindset should be. And you know, you can always just come and ask Karina and Samuel. They'll be on LinkedIn. Probably a good idea to put your LinkedIn on the, or whatever your contact details are, in the chat, so everyone can click on it and save it. Because if you have questions like this, see how quickly Samuel can answer these questions. And you know, if Karina can't answer it, she's the co-founder of ExeQuantum with Samuel, so they'll be able to answer this stuff straight away. So yeah,
feel free
definitely
to click and also follow our page, our ExeQuantum page. Anything helps. We're also hiring for a cryptographer if you know anyone.
Yeah, a bit of a challenge to find a quantum cryptographer, but again, we can educate them as well at some point. So
yeah, at the moment I probably need someone a bit more experienced, just for the first hire. But yeah, hopefully at some point we can hire some more interns and just teach them.
nice. Good. Did you have a slide for me for the mindset around security, Samuel, or do you want me to talk about something that I've previously got?
I think I've spoken enough.
Yeah. Yep. So what I do mostly as part of TLS, Rosh and I co-founded TLS, and we met Karina in one of the meetups, and then we went to Sydney for the CryptoCon together. And yeah, Virgo flew me up there to talk about mindset and what I do in life. Everything I do around in life is based around mindset. Like today, I was teaching some people, not children, so adults now, how to do handstands. And she knew in her mind what was blocking her was her mind. She was looking down at the floor. She knew she had to not flip over, but she needed to get into a position. She was very uncomfortable, whatever traumas happened in the past. So just because we hear all of this stuff that we're talking about now, it doesn't mean you should be fearful of getting in. You've got the right people in front of you, right? This is the mindset side of things. If you're scared to get in, then you're more likely to get scammed, because someone might come, and this is what happened to another person who was studying very hard with crypto, and suddenly her husband, who didn't know anything about crypto, got a phone call, and then they were like, "Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean someone's hacking my crypto?" So they gave their details to this person to log onto their computer, and it just gets out of hand. So the more scared you are, the more fear that you are in, the more likely you're going to give your details or something to someone else until it's too late. Once they play on your emotions, you're in trouble. It's too late. You've given your details across. You're like, help me. Like, I don't know. What do you mean? The same thing that happened to my parents, my friends' parents as well. They got a phone call. Oh, your computer, is it running really slow? Yes, my computer's running. You smiling because you know what I'm talking about, right? Oh yeah, my computer's running slow. Oh yeah, just go to this website, and can you see all those red dots? Okay, yep. So if you just click on here, do this, or what they're doing is they're getting access to your computer. You're helping them connect to your computer. So the same thing, like these guys are very clever. They'll play on the weak that don't know. So hang around these guys. You hang around Karina, you hang around Samuel, you're gonna be in the right place. Like, hey guys, just checking. Someone's asking this, and this. Should I be doing this? There's no rush. You don't need someone else on your computer. You've got all the right people here. Otherwise, we would have kicked them out of the Discord. We would have kicked them out of the Zoom already. So your mindset can be strong if you have a good group of people around you. You can ask them questions. If they're not, sometimes my friend, he wants to teach me at 2 a.m. Wasn't good for me, so I had to go and do a course. And then, the course, you can't always ask questions, but all of these people are in the know. So just jump in, ask questions, jump in the Discord, jump on their LinkedIn. Yeah, come and ask questions. That should be your mindset. You should be at peace, knowing everything is safe. You've got quantum secure crypto. You've got a cold wallet. You've got your hard wallet. Everything is safe. You don't need to worry. If you've got a question, yep, thank you for that information. Whoever knew that you don't know comes in your face. Hey, have you heard about this? You should buy this. Hang on a second. I'm not in a rush. I'm doing really well. Let me go and speak to Karina. Let me go speak to Rosh, or, Nick and Ben, that, they're obviously in this stuff already as well. Come and talk to them, right? Talk to people that you know or you've seen face to face. That's what you want to do.
Here. And of course, if even suddenly ask for your password or to invest, or to invest in something looking weird, or for your bank details, don't give it even to us.
Yeah. One of my friends messaged me, and they were like, "Oh, can you do this for me?" And I was busy at work, so I was like, "Yeah. I don't know why you're not asking your boyfriend, but sure, I'll do this." And I was sending a screenshot. 2 seconds later, I got lucky. I had 2-factor authentication. I almost got hacked, and I'm supposed to be the one talking about security and and all this stuff. So a momentary lapse of concentration is all it takes, and someone has done a beautiful profile, and that's what we were asking Rosh about before. That scam, they've made it look like legitimately they're your friend. But there were a few things they were saying. I'm like, something's not right, but I'm busy. So, okay, sure. Like, just get you off my back. Here's the screenshot. And then I got an email. Someone's trying to access your account. What?
It happens quite often. Like, I don't know, but during the like a festive season, during December, I was so many emails and messages. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, just be confident, because the more scared you are and the more walking on eggshells you are, the more you're going to be likely to fall for one of those people, and they'll be attracted to you. Have you seen when you walk around a dog and you're scared, or you walk around some bees and you're scared, they come and land on you. The cat in the house that you don't want to go near, you stand away from the cat will come to you. It's the same thing. You run around all scared of stuff, the scam's going to come on you. You get yourself educated, be confident. You're like, nope, I don't want to click on that. Nope, I don't want to click on that. I'm unsure about that, so I'm not clicking on that. Done. Come and ask someone.
Public Wi-Fi as well. Please don't connect to the free public Wi-Fi and insert there all your details. That's like a straight away, the way to get hacked as well.
Oh, there you go.
That's great advice. That's great advice. One thing I've got to share is I was giving a tour of crypto to a 17-year-old, 3-hour session on a Saturday. You know, yeah, he's super curious about crypto, making money, airdrops, what I'm doing. But he's really concerned about security. First up, right? Can it get hacked? Like, I've heard these scams. He was just super, like, he's just asking me, like, after every sentence is asking me questions about getting hacked and everything. So I'm glad that he was asking me these questions. But he seems scared of crypto, and I can relate to that, because a lot of people seem scared to actually get in because they've heard of how dangerous it is. But it's about it's about following the right people. It's about hanging out with the right communities, and it's about using common sense. Really,
yeah.
And
common sense not always that common.
And that's right. and also not doing stuff when you're too tired. Because as Ant says as well, you like, don't trade when you're tired. Don't trade when you're distracted. Same with crypto. If you're going to do it, take some time out. And this is my advice to the kid. I said, be in the moment when you do it. And if you're not in the moment, don't do it, because you can easily get lost. So he's going to come to Ant for some mindset training there. So he's already booked in for some mindset.
The good thing Ant said to me, that's take a deep breath. If I can't take a deep breath, that's not a time for trading.
I forgot. I said that. Yeah, that's good advice. I should do that. It's so important. I had a couple. So the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll hand it over to Karina and Samuel to either talk some more or wrap it up, whatever you'd like to do. But I had a couple come into the clinic, and the guy, they were good, very good people, that had good lives, less stress now, you would think. But the guy was his neck was up here. He was walking around like this. I'm like, why are your shoulders so high? And his wife comes in. She's a police officer, super calm, almost no pain, no nothing. I'm like, how? You're a police officer and you have no pain? What's going on? And as soon as she lay down on the table for me to treat her, the first thing she did was took a deep breath. And I'm like, aha. And as soon as the husband sat down on the chair, no breathing. Took me 2 sessions of 15 minutes each session. They were 1 hour long sessions to get him to breathe. And when he goes home, he doesn't really do the breathing. Whereas she automatically does the breathing, less health issues. Completely different bodies living in the same house. Absolutely crazy. So if you take your breath more often, you'll be in a better space. Before you tell your kids off, or before you yell at your partner or something, take a deep breath and you'll find you're in a much better mental space. If you can't take a breath, probably don't speak yet.
That's very true.
That's very true. That was very
Thank you
for that. I've got to drop off to go and look after all this flooding that's happening in our apartment. So I'll leave you to Karina and Rosh and Samuel to wrap up, ask questions, write down everything in the chat box because that disappears. And if you want to keep contact, all the contact details are in there. So I'll leave it with you guys to wrap up.
Take care,
Okay.
bro. Take care with your apartment.
See you next week and have fun with your flood.
Best
Thank
of
you.
luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck, bro. Take care.
Thanks.
Okay, we have like 9 minutes of our session. Is it anyone having any questions about like a security mindset or anything else? Or Samuel, Roche have something else to say?
I think from my end, I said it all. Unless
Yeah.
anyone has some questions.
I had a couple of questions actually. Not so much around the why. I think you guys have painted a really clear picture of that, and it's definitely something I'm going to be a lot more conscious of now in my investing, especially. But in terms of maybe, I guess, number one, what are some things we should be looking for in the news around the development of quantum computing to know that it's at a stage where these attacks are a legitimate threat? And second part of that, I guess, is the other side of the coin. What are some things that are potentially roadblocks to people adapting quantum resistant blockchain technology now? So, for example, does it affect scalability or interchain operability, those sorts of things? So, yeah, just some thoughts.
Yes, those are good questions actually. I think if I may shamelessly insert ourselves a bit, you can follow our page. We post like regular big news about quantum, like try to sift through the less interesting ones, especially the ones that impact security. You can also follow like Quintessence Labs, as well as Q Control and a bunch of other quantum companies in Australia, like Quantum Brilliance. Also in America, there's a lot of quantum news in the area. If there's something very big, then like for example, Google's recent breakthrough with quantum chip, then it appears everywhere. And then they start bringing up some hype like parallel universes. But that's not something to, it's important to distinguish the hype from the truth. Regarding the challenges, yes, I have a feeling that's one of the reasons blockchain and Ethereum are more taking their time. First of all, a lot of infrastructure already built on the current algorithms. That's what they had in mind, that's what they invested in, and now it's a matter of changing the entire infrastructure. Not everyone, practices, even like with the biggest company code or even government code, not everyone practices proper coding practices that allows them to adopt new technology easily. So that's a massive challenge, integrating it into existing systems. In terms of scalabilities, yes, the current algorithms are slower. They also have bigger key sizes. However, there are some things that can be done to optimize that. For example, QRL actually decreased their key size from 7 kilobytes, which, by the way, imagine a signature that is 7 kilobytes. That is massive for signature. They actually managed to reduce it to 2 kilobytes, which is still high, but it's progress. We're actually working on our own algorithm at the moment. We call it Falcon Speed cryptocurrency protection, because it's actually twice as fast as current algorithms. Now we just need to make sure it is not vulnerable and stuff, but we're going to be releasing it. My hope is that in March. So there are ways to deal with, there are ways to optimize algorithms to not make them just as good as the algorithm today, but even better. It's just a very big challenge. I actually am gonna be paying someone a very high price, the one who's currently helping me do that. So
Fix me if I'm wrong, Ben. You are a blockchain developer, is that correct?
Project management's where I want to contribute to blockchain at the moment. Yeah. So just interested in this space. Yeah.
Well, if you know, if you end up handling any project, make sure that it's on the table, because it's not really, whether it's through us or through someone else, it's not really an option, sadly. Like if it's not done, it just then that crypto is not going to last.
Yeah, something huge to be aware of, I guess. It could be easily something that's overlooked at the initial development phase of a project as a non-functional requirement, let's say, which could have huge implications further down the track if people understand the risk. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. And it's still relatively unknown, even though the awareness is increasing, thankfully due to a lot of effort from a lot of people, but it's still not high enough. There's a high chance that most people you go around asking, they will have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, it doesn't just apply to the crypto space. Like I'm a business analyst working on border management systems, and it's a bit of a worry that, that's not a non-functional requirement on the systems we work on.
Yeah.
And we want to protect borders. So, yeah, so I think, like I said, if there isn't a fire, no one's gonna look for the fire, but when the fire hits, then people will try and prevent the next one. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, and we do get that in as a non-functional requirement, especially in major projects where a lot of people are invested in.
Yes,
You
and
know,
like you mentioned, a lot of critical infrastructure is completely unprepared. And
Yeah.
I've actually spoken to two government organizations now. I don't want to name names, of course. But basically the consensus is we will wait for someone else to do it. And that's a very bad approach, because chances are those someone else is waiting for you to do it. So
Yeah.
it's a
And I
tricky
have to
thing.
be honest, until we came across the quantum security, ExeQuantum, which are very great to partner with. Like we had no idea about this so much of and what an impact it can have. But I think the more education that we can learn ourselves and then simplify it to other people, the more awareness we create. So I think it's just the word of mouth can get around, and that helps grow awareness of the potential threats in the future.
Yes, and I think, Niwan, I think you're correct that government and financial systems will be affected first,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be a difference. I don't think it's going to be a difference of years. It's going to be a difference of days. Because think about it, if a quantum computer is able to hack all those things in minutes, it's not going to be hard for everyone to do it, or like a country that adopts a quantum computer. So if it happens starting to affect government or financial systems, anyone who's unprepared, it's too late. It's basically going to be too late. Like there is no way that they can properly upgrade in a few days. Additionally, yeah, I actually heard also that some theories that with quantum computers, we're gonna lose the era where most of the world has access to an internet, because a lot of countries are not going to be prepared, which means that they will not be able to put up their internet back on because it will just get hacked immediately, which is a pretty sad, like not a fun future to think of. But hopefully, if we continue pushing, I'm actually already talking to some countries in Africa about it. Like if you just continue pushing the solution, the solutions, and make sure that as many people as possible adopt before it happens, we can avert that. We've done it before with Y2K.
That's true.
Okay, if it's anyone have any questions, that's 9:30 by now. The time is up. So anyone? Nick, is it any questions you have? You were quite active at the start.
No, I'm all good for now. Thank you. I'll digest all that. It was wonderful to connect with everybody and a pleasure. Very inciting and informative. Look forward to digesting it all, and I will be in touch soon, I think.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
and feel
think
free to
that's
jump
all for
into.
today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Karina and Samuel, for the really cool insights. If you want to continue our conversation, Karina is active in our Discord as well. So feel free to jump in there and we can continue the conversation. And yeah, ask as many questions in there as you want as well.
Okay, have a lovely evening, everyone. And hopefully see you next week as well.
Right. Well,
Oh.
thanks, guys. Really good
All
day.
right.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Take care, everyone.
All the
Cheers.
best.
Yeah.
Okay.